Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I wanted to pop on and talk about investing in your health and where to really get started if you feel like you've been given the runaround on this. So this is something that it just comes along with working on your own personal health. Whether it be your physical health, your mental health, any area, right? It comes along with this territory. So it's I don't talk a lot about this, but I do feel it's important to address sometimes because as women, I mean, we're in charge of the health not only for ourselves, but for our whole families. And for a lot of us, we feel like, okay, I have done this and that. I have spent money on these things. What the heck is going on that I can't figure this out or that this won't work for me? And it's not that you're not trying, right? It's that you're following something that's not meant for you, right? Or you're following something that still has gaps, that still has a lot of really important pieces missing. So what is the right answer? What do we look at? What do we do? Where should I start? Oh my gosh. The first place that I tell people to start, then that I tell women to start when they're looking for something is test. Test for what your system needs. Test. So this I'm referring to Dutch test. It's one of the tests that I recommend. So right there in the comments, I put a link for Dutch test. Because, I mean, women on average go on 4 different diets a year. Not because we love it so much. Oh my God, I can't wait to go on another diet. Oh, it's so fun. No. Women go on 4 different diets a year because the last one didn't work. And oftentimes you're thinking, well, I screwed it up. I must have done something wrong. No. I got to tell you, I did, oh my gosh, about a dozen phone calls today from gals that are in my current 12-week program. And even gals that are like, you know what, I'm only following this like maybe 60 or 70%. I'm not doing it perfect and I feel bad. I'm like, okay, listen, there's so much built into this protocol that you don't have to follow it perfect. Plus, if you're missing gaps on it, it's just not ready for you to fit into your lifestyle yet. So I'm not worried about that. Tell me what's going on in your system. Oh my gosh, I am sleeping way better. I'm actually, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I can get right back to sleep. Awesome. My energy has gone through the roof. I'm able to work out multiple days in a row because I'm not completely exhausted from my workouts. Boom, that's a win, right? Hair is changing, right? My hair isn't greasy and everything. My skin is changing. Oh my gosh, there's so many important things. I'm getting hungry now. My taste buds have changed. That's really weird. Is that normal? Yes, that's normal. How do we get to these places for these women? How did these things happen for them, right? Testing, figuring out what their system needed first. Because it doesn't do any good to try and push metabolism, to try and force your body to burn more fat if there are nutritional deficits that your system has, if your hormones are completely out of whack, and if your cortisol levels are so out of control that your system is going to get stressed out no matter what you do. So even if you were following a protocol, right, there are some women who, when they take the Dutch test, I'll be like, you know what, I would love to work with you and, have you be in the 12-week challenge that I have, but we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. You're not ready for it. There's no way your system would respond well. I mean, some women, they do much better. Other women, though, holy cannoli. Holy cannoli. So everybody starts at a different place. So it's really hard and it's almost unfair for you to expect your body to respond like that if you're starting in a different place. Right? So how do you know, right? And a lot of women will feel like this. They'll feel like, okay, everybody else is on this, like, here's a racetrack, right? Racetrack, these are the lanes, and everybody here is on this starting line, right? Everybody's here. Everybody's here. All these lanes are filled. Okay, where are you? Where, which lane are you in? No, you're way over here in the parking lot. You're not even on the starting line. No. Why aren't you on the starting line? Because you have hormonal issues, because your cycle is really irregular, because you're going through perimenopause and your hot flashes are so extreme, right? If you are having those internal issues, that tells me that your body is not at a foundational level to be on the starting line for your metabolism, right? You're over here. You're way over here. Parking lot. Maybe you're across the street still. Maybe circling the parking lot, still waiting for a spot to open up, right? Right? Test and figure out where you are. Because what this does is it takes you from the parking lot and it puts you at the starting line then. It puts you right here. From there, we can make progress. From there, we can see things shift and change. The gals, I mean, we're about just starting week 4 of the 12-week challenge right now. Some of these gals that have been on a protocol now for, there was one gal, a few months already. And she was like saying, oh my gosh, I'm having all these fantastic results now because the meal plan is working for me. I was like, no. We started this in April when we got your results and we went through, and your system's been going on this journey. Just so now when it's ready, boom. Now the meal guide, it's going to work, and you're losing all these inches and you're having all this fun, which is so great, right? So great. But it's no accident that it's taken your system 4 months of work to start, so that you could lose 4 inches around your waist. And it seemed like it happened really fast. No, it was set up like that way before. But where do we know where to start? We knew where to start because we tested for it. So this is where I see women get just really misled, right? There's a ton of info out there. And I mean, one of the things I do is one of my missions is just to educate women, give you information more about how your body works, functions, so that you can make the right decisions moving forward. And for a lot of women, just trying something new or jumping into something new isn't always the best thing. It's really hard to figure out where to move to next if you don't have accurate information on your body specifically. Yeah. So by testing, I get to learn more about you, learn more about how your body's working, functioning, what your deficiencies are, where the gaps are, how to get from here to the starting line, right? And then from there, it's just about working with your body and your system, right? So the next thing besides testing that I want to talk about for really helping women and getting them the right results and everything in their bodies is that stop following stuff that's meant for men, right? For a male body. You want to work with something that is for female physiology. Female physiology is next. And that's going to be your nutrition and your exercise and even lifestyle. Everything for female physiology. A lot of what I recommend off of getting a test is like a supplement protocol. If you need to go through a hormone detox, if we need to reboot your adrenals, work with your liver, all these different things, right? That's a lot of it is done through filling the gaps and boosting your system, with supplements and some nutrition recommendations. But the meal guide that we get through, then that is the 12-week challenge, in terms of getting the nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle changes that the female physiology needs. And that's where things just shine. It's a totally different experience then. It's a totally different experience. But this is, again, where women feel like, oh my gosh, I have spent money on Weight Watchers, on this other thing. I have spent money on pills and powders and potions, and I did this other juicing thing. I went and bought a juicer that was hundreds of dollars, and then I used it, and now I don't use it anymore. I signed up for this exercise program. I bought this thing online, right? I mean, we've all been there. I've done it too. And sometimes I will still find and look and do things just to experience it, just to be like, I wonder what this is about. And sometimes like, great. Like I got a little rebounder and I love it and it's fun and it's really helpful for lymphatic drainage. Do I think it's the end all be all? No. But is it a great addition for me for what I'm working on right now? Sure. But again, all these little pieces, would the rebounder be really helpful if I wasn't already doing things for my lymphatic system? No. Right? If I wasn't eating really clean already? No. So it's all about the right thing at the right time. So the biggest thing that people get frustrated with is just starting off at a place. You're way over here, and women think that they're at the starting line. They think they're at the starting line. And I'm telling you, there's a gal that I chatted with this morning. April, she was here. And it took us till July to get here. That is normal. That is a normal progression. Give your body the time it needs. A lot of this stuff doesn't happen overnight. So give it a few months to catch up, to be at a place where it can actually work with your metabolism. That's totally normal. That's totally normal, right? We're just not told these things. It's not presented this way. And then we feel really terrible for buying a new program or starting something new. And I didn't do it, or it didn't work for me, or I must have done it wrong, or what's wrong with me, or you try and restrict your food so much that you get completely exhausted. You're exhausted, totally fatigued. What the heck? No, there's no way you can continue to do that then, right? No. Unreasonable expectation of your body. So, test first. Figure out what you need. And then when you put your dollars, your energy, your focus into something, it is something that is specific and custom for you. That is literally the best recommendation I can make for people. If you're going to make a health change, I'd rather you take stuff out first, right? Like cut out artificial colors, cut out artificial sweeteners, eat more whole foods. Great. You're never going to go wrong doing stuff like that. Other than that, if you're like, yeah, okay, done it. Now what? Test and work with somebody who is going to give you the map to get here. Because the other thing is that I had this again this morning. I had somebody send me her test results that she had a test taken from somebody else, which is fine, but they didn't go over it with her. I was like, okay, so what's going on here? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? No one talked to you about this. This is like a different language to read. And I spend an hour with you on the phone making sure I translate it. Basically, this is what your system is doing, all these other things, right? And again, you can find out more about that in the link in the comments. But it's like a different language. So when we get off the phone, you understand what's happening in your system, right? But I give you this, here's where we're going to go. This is what's so important. And you need to work with somebody who does this, who is an expert, who has experience with this, who knows what they're doing, and who can guide you to get to this point. Because it is a completely different experience. Like I said, and again, I'm using this one gal as an example of her journey, of her, path, right? Of having this be, April, and then July, we're here. And she's losing pounds. They're just like melting off of her inches. Her 3 weeks in is amazing progress. But I want to be very clear, it's not just 3 weeks. 3 weeks on a meal guide, 3 weeks working on this, right? Because this was first for her. This was first, then this is second. If you have done everything, if you are frustrated, if you do not want to waste any more of your time, energy, money, anything, start with this and get this map. And then we can go on to this and talk about these things. Oh, it's just, so beautiful when you get there. So beautiful. Yes. So, speaking of, my book, The Female Fat Solution, this is on Amazon. This talks about the nutrition, exercise, lifestyle pieces that match your hormones and your cycle. Lots of great content, lots of great information. Also, it's super fun. I love this. So I have women that will buy my book. My YouTube channel is called Dr. Beth Westy. I have a ton of videos uploaded there. I have women who will binge watch hours of videos and then email me and be like, hey, I've been following you for like 5 months. I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 20 pounds and I feel really good. My cycle is regulated. Thank you. And I'm like, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Right? I love it. I love it. That's why I have these resources for. A really inexpensive way to go about getting started. If you have gotten started, if you have looked at any of these things too, and you're like, oh my gosh, I see some progress, but I'm still missing some things, that's where we need to test, right? That's where we need to test. Other resources I have for you, my podcast is called The Female Health Solution. It's on all places podcast. I have a lot of resources there as well. Okay, a couple of comments here. Ooh, how much is the test? Ooh, good question. So that it'll tell you in the link there. There's different payment options too that you can split up the payments to make it more affordable, but it does depend on which test. There's different types of tests, so it does depend on which one. Dutch Plus, which tests the cortisol awakening response, tests some extra cortisols for you there. There's also a cycle mapping, which I work with women for fertility issues. That's a good one too. So it does you know, it is at least a few $100s just to budget. You know, yes, it is a more expensive test. No, insurance doesn't cover it. I know it's not really health insurance, it's sick insurance. Don't even get me started on that. Oh, whole nother thing. It's like your car. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to start it. It's like your car. You have to have car insurance, right? I have car insurance for my car, right? Yep. That it covers if I get in an accident. But if I get a flat tire, which I did last week, I got a flat tire and I had to go and like fill it with it. It was fine. Not a big deal. Like it got really squishy. I had to put air in it, right? But my car insurance doesn't cover that. If I get a headlight out, they don't cover that. I got to get a new bulb and put it in there. They don't cover oil changes, right? So if there's something wrong with your engine, we all have had this where we go in, get our car looked at, and yeah, it's not cheap then, is it? No. Nope. And you have to pay out of pocket for it because your car insurance doesn't cover it. This is the same thing. It really is. This gives you an in-depth look at your body, at your system, to you know, the diagnostics on your car, right? When they plug it in and they say, oh, you're going to need this fixed or something, blah, blah, blah. I did this last year. I brought my car in and they were like, because again, I don't know things with the cars. I literally will call the dude and I'll be like, it's making a noise like, I was like, what? I don't know. That's what it said. That's what the car said. I don't know. I'm just telling you, man. If you don't know what it means. Anyway, then I brought it in. They were like, ooh, your brake pads are real bad. And I was like, okay. And they're like, yep, that'll be $900. Okay. Car insurance doesn't cover that. But I want brake pads. I really do. I really do. I think everybody else wants me to have brake pads too. So I paid it, right? Same type of thing. You get that in-depth look, and that's what it is. Connie's asking, does it only look at liver function or kidney function as well? Ooh, good question, Connie. So it does test some of the kidney function. Not all of it the same way, but it does test how hormones are processed through the kidneys. Excellent question, because majority of these hormones, estrogens, progesterones, etc., they are metabolized and processed by the liver. So we're getting a big look at the liver. Yes. Smaller percentage of them. Smaller percentage are processed, right? They're made water soluble and then processed by the kidneys. The bigger percentage is fat soluble, processed by the liver. Smaller percentage, water soluble, processed by the kidneys. We do get a look at that. We do get a look at how that's being processed by the kidneys in a few different areas on the test. So excellent question. And I would say yes, in terms of the kidney function, processing those hormones. Yeah. Okay. So that was a long answer to that question. But this is where we're at, right? This is where I really feel like a lot of women are. I've been getting a lot more questions on this and really wanting women have been wanting more info and wanting to dive in because we're at a point now where we are really taking charge of our own health more. And I think it's a wonderful thing that we are becoming more accountable to our own physical health. We do have to educate ourselves more. We have to be more vigilant on what we want for our own health and our own bodies. Is it fair? I don't know. But a lot of times as we're realizing, you know what? I don't want to be somebody who's still having problems 6 months down the road, a year down the road, right? I've been there already. I've already had this issue for years and I'm sick of it. How do I figure it out? Boom, here we go. I've already tried all these other routes conventionally. I've already gone in. I can't even tell you how many women that I've chatted with that they're like, yeah, I went in and I had this saliva test and I've had my thyroid tested 4 times. And every time it came back fine. Well, clearly you're not fine because you're still having an issue requesting your thyroid tested 4 different times, right? So what's the deal? What's the issue then? Let's find out. You have to be your own advocate for your own health. And now I really feel like we're waking up to that more than ever. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Please let me know if you have any other questions, if you need any other help, if you need any other resources on anything that I talk about. I'm always here as an open book and as a resource for you. So let me know. Otherwise, have a great rest of your night and I will see you later.